code.
So I don't have any Lord of the Rings playing in the background or anything this time. I think we fixed it. Although now I can't hear you. Oh, you're just muted. Okay. It's a silent laugh. You can't work. Listen, I'm worried that it's not working. I see you doing this. No noise.
Oh boy.
Stop ribbing.
Can't help it. It was hilarious.
Don't rib your co-host. Welcome. It's Friday night, guys. It is Spiffy and the Unicorn. That's me and Ashley. We are here to talk professional wrestling and stuff like that. This week, we are going to talk about the amazing contributions of our friends to the north, your Canadian Mount Rushmore. So we have a couple different criteria. First and foremost, Ashley will tell you, she'll drop a little history knowledge on you if you're new to the show while I try to share this a few places.
Okay. So I also threw in a caveat today, too.
By the way, I don't know the caveats, too. This is on the fly. She does this to me every week where there's no prepared anything.
At least I give a topic. That's my job. So, for all intents and purposes, I said Canadian contributors to wrestling, and there's a reason for it. You don't technically have to be a wrestler to be a contributor to wrestling. So keep that in mind when you're posting in the comments who you want to put in to your Mount Rushmore or your favorite list, whatever. Personally, I don't got a Mount Rushmore on this one because everyone's just so fantastic. I would wake up in night sweats. But the Mount Rushmore, from my understanding from things from the History Channel, was supposed to be 5 heads. And one of them was supposed to be Susan B. Anthony. There was also supposed to be another Mount Rushmore that was going to be built in the South. It's a lot of stuff. Y'all, sometimes you just got to go back and watch some old stuff on the History Channel. But that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to talk about Canadian contributors, babies. I hope you're ready, because I have no idea what's going to come out of my mouth, and I definitely don't have any idea of what Mr. Spiffy's going to say.
Well, good. I don't either. Production values. Listen, I've been watching Dominguez, and they're taking care of the boys. I don't want to be too polished because I know the nest doesn't like that, but we make it look a little pretty.
We do.
I mean, it's easy with her.
One day I'll try to get a fancy background, but for now, this is my vision board. You can't even see my hand, but this is my vision board. It's old. This is one of my vision.
All right, you can have old visions.
Yeah, those are Cheerios. The heart is Cheerios. This is Cheerios.
Listen, I found us. We're on. We're live. We're live,
pal. Okay. Anyway.
All right.
You pulled us somewheres?
No, I just wanted to make sure we were actually working. I should have realized when they said we have production values and stuff like that.
Hey, there's 2 people watching, and I think they're us.
You're looking at a different thing. You're looking at one.
I am.
No, there's thousands of people out there. Thank you all for your support. 2 people.
Yes, and we do love the conspiracy theories about the aliens, DeWisco. You are so right. We do.
Listen, I live in an area, and I told the big LG this because he's a big cryptid guy. They literally are building like a statue of Bigfoot in this is a complete shoot. You can look it up. Derry, Pennsylvania. It's a little town, and they think Bigfoot's from here. So very rural town, not a whole lot going on, as you can imagine, in beautiful Derry, Pennsylvania. But apparently that damn Sasquatch is. Yeah, damn Sasquatch.
They're going to be quite upset because the History Channel just did something on them the other day.
And the heat.
Yeah, it's basically some weird shaped toes of people who lived in a certain area, and based off the way they walk, it looks like they have big feet. So, yeah, I'm
I don't
telling
know.
you.
That's listen. It's
Oh, the Bigfoot Museum? Is it? Okay. I've gone to Georgia how many times? I really don't go anywhere but my sister's house or my brother's house. So I really need to get out more when I go there. And yeah, the whole Roswell thing freaks me out, scurvy dog. I don't know what it is,
I
but
can't believe they're
scurvy
not
dog just
more alien
freaks
stuff
me
in the
out.
news right now with all the other stuff going on to try
Oh,
to
come on.
cover up from the other stuff going on. You just be like, look, aliens.
Yeah. And then that exit area where you can go towards Area 51, I'll drive that way when I go to get my lottery tickets in California because I literally live 23 minutes from the border.
Getting your
And
scratchies.
you
Why did
turn
I think you lived in Vegas?
certain, yeah, you just drive down the street. If you turn right on one of the exits, you can go start driving towards Area 51, but then you want to get shut up. That's your business.
It is on lockdown, as we have been told.
It is.
No, I mean
Again,
it's. Listen, I don't know if the Mountie counts as a cryptid. He should. He's
I
legendary.
mean, why not?
PCO at this point is
Why not?
definitely not human.
Just saying, why not?
No, it's. Listen, I mean it's. I know we're already like way off subject because we're talking about Bigfoot. Because
Because we do these
listen,
things.
I'll be in Atlanta in a couple of weeks. I'm not saying I won't take a road trip to the Bigfoot Museum.
Take
Listen,
pictures.
the LG would probably go too. We'll have a little Falcons Nest field trip to the Bigfoot Museum. I'm not gonna lie, it actually would probably be decent content for the Patreon and for the channel stuff.
Ooh, a cryptid Rushmore.
Cryptid Rushmore. We don't want to call in too many favors with the good brothers. We may have to do that and have LG as a special guest on that episode, just because
We'll have to
he'd
do a
probably.
pre-record.
We'll do it. He'd be hot with us if we did a cryptid Mount Rushmore and didn't include his expertise.
Wait, you went? Did you get pictures? I mean, just saying. I need to see some stuff.
The actual Bigfoot Museum.
It's pretty damn
Why
cool.
Atlanta? Or why, I guess, does he migrate? Like when it gets crappy weather here in the north, Bigfoot walks south, or I don't know. This is where we need the LG to come in here and smarten us up on the lore of Bigfoot. Or I could just go talk to the old men at the coffee shop here in town. I'm sure they'd tell me.
Again, how is Bigfoot not Canadian?
You would think Bigfoot is
north. It's cold.
Yeti would probably be the.
Well, yes, the
Yeti's
Yeti. Okay, I'm sorry. They weren't talking about Bigfoot. They were talking about Yeti this week on the History
I'm out of my
Channel.
league right now.
And yeah, the Yeti with the weird
Not
feet.
the wrestler, the Yeti, who is I think also not Canadian, but
no. It's in the mountains of Atlanta.
All right.
The Wendigo.
Your caveat for your Canadian Mount Rushmore is what again? Just so I try to stay remotely on topic.
Any type of yes, we do have to get on subject. We're so bad at that. Any type of Canadian contributor.
Okay, so it doesn't have to be an actor.
Just not named Bret Hart.
That have to be a worker. Yeah, Bret Hart is excluded. Yeah,
no Bret Hart. So you can work in the ring, outside the ring, in the office, outside the office.
All that.
Make it good.
All right.
And do you actually have to have a girl? No, but if you want 1 or 2 or 12, that's your business.
You should have a girl. So
well, yeah, I'm not technically screwing Bret. Bret is Canadian.
Bret screwed Bret.
He
knew
Canada.
He was Canadian.
Bret is Canada. The rest of it just evolves around him.
And yes.
Fun fact: have you ever seen the picture? This is Bret Hart related. Have you ever seen the picture of Bret Hart and the 2 black women? The viral picture of him.
No.
Seriously? Well, it's my friend Jennifer and her mom are in this is about 20 years ago. They took a picture with Bret and it goes viral every few months.
Was it him in a jean jacket or some weird,
yeah.
actual, weird? Okay, I've seen it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in Brett's defense, you three would probably be the only black women in Canada if you were up there, but that's, not as
No,
not as
it's
diverse,
not.
not as
It's
melting pot.
not me. Although I did have the glasses for a minute. See, yes, scurvy Don Callis is actually a wonderful
Yeah.
choice. It would work. Thank you. Make the OnlyFans joke. I can't even talk. That's why it's called Juicy Mouth, because I can't talk today. But
Wait, that's a shoot too. We're getting ready to go live, and Ashley's telling me that she has Juicy Mouth. I'm like, that has to be the name of this episode. It's just got to be Juicy Mouth.
yeah, I had pickles today, and it's just been I've had Juicy Mouth all day. So the episode's called Juicy Mouth. I want to hear the
Speaking
joke.
of pickles, everybody, if you
There you go.
Blue Chew.
Speaking of your pickle, ladies and gentlemen,
use code Good Brothers for 10% off.
please and thank you.
So
you ready?
I am. Listen, I'm as ready as I think I'll ever get, which isn't been much, but
now we do already have a great one put into the comments, Mr. Don Callis. I have been seeing him pop up on my Pluto stream as I sometimes fall asleep to old TNA. The hair, we're not even gonna talk about it.
Callis had great hair for a while.
He did until he was really short, and I was like, that ain't it. But yes, he has become a great contributor in the managing field. I would agree to that. Thank you. That was a great one, Scurvy Dog.
Yeah. I mean,
Now,
Don Callis, I mean, for a lot of different reasons. For me, longevity, all the way back to, the Jackal era of Don Callis, all the way through the amazing stuff he's doing now in AEW. AEW probably doesn't exist at the level it is if Don Callis isn't helping Chris Jericho go over to Japan with his New Japan connections over there and setting up those matches with Kenny Omega and being kind of on the ground level of those interpromotional deals. So obviously, yeah, I mean, a lot of Canadian history there, Don Callis being at the center of a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's hard to argue that he's probably one of the best heels on television now, consistently. Gets very sworn at. Old ladies don't like that.
Well, we were walking into the Palms last month to get to our seats, and I walked right by him because I wasn't paying attention. I was focused, and I heard someone say, "I love you, Don," and he turned around. He's like, "F you." I'm like, "Oh, I like that." He stays in callous mode. I like that.
It's living the gimmick. I mean,
I like that a lot. Good time.
I mean, he's an old school brother. I mean, Don Callis has been around since the 90s. So, there's still going to be that. There's guys back then, and really not that many in modern wrestling that weren't afraid to be the bad guy, to be the actual heel. Now, heels want to be cool. Now, heels want to still get their shit in. And it's evolved because you still want to, sell T-shirts and all that stuff, and you still want the crowd to pop for you. Back then, Don Callis had to be escorted out by security, and probably still today, because people, he comes across as authentic. And that's one of the things that, like, moments like that are why, because that is, like, MJF is pretty authentic. Like, that's
what I've heard.
Eddie Kingston is one of the guys. Like,
he is.
When I talk about professional wrestling in those terms, I talk about like credibility. Mm-hmm. Eddie Kingston is the kind of wrestler that makes you believe in what he's doing. And that is in itself a tremendous lost art in professional wrestling. You don't have to do, 450s onto the apron and stuff like that if you can make the crowd believe the way that a wrestler like Eddie Kingston does. Don Callis is that kind of guy. Don Callis, you believe, has actual disdain for you because of like how well he articulates his points. That is a solid start to the mountain, and I can't argue with that at all.
I'm going to save my Eddie Kingston fun fact for either St. Patrick's Day or when we talk about our Latin wrestlers, because, yes.
I'm happy Scurvy put his in there, because I swear there's so many Canadian wrestlers, and there's Canadian wrestlers that you forget are Canadian wrestlers.
Or didn't even know that they're Canadian.
Or didn't even know, yeah.
Yes.
Like,
So
you wouldn't think,
Kenny,
you know,
Kevin
right you
Steen, Jericho. Yes, yes, yes.
yeah, you wouldn't think, you know, Sami Zayn is Canadian. You wouldn't you know,
You
like,
forget.
there are or even guys like ELP, who had a great
What
match.
door he is?
Yeah.
Well, see,
So, like
you learn something every day.
yeah, I mean, but, like, but I'm growing up in the '80s and '90s, whatever, like, we had, you know, the original the Can-Am Connection, which, you know, that was, the Canadian wrestlers. I think it was Rick Martel and, I forget, who else it was. Another Canadian. You had
Was
the Rougeau brothers
yes,
and later the Mountie.
yes.
And then when Bad News Allen is Canadian. Actually, it's anniversary of his passing away, I believe, today. So
I think I saw
little
some his
little
face pop
Jaeger
up
bomb
on
for good brother Brown.
some Verners.
Um, yeah, but like so it's why I was kind of fascinated about this topic because you literally don't think about some of those guys. And you know, Jericho, I'll get him out of the way just so we can get him out of the way. Jericho's got to go on the mountain. Uh, a lot of the same reasons as Don Callis, a
Mhm.
guy who has been relevant in wrestling for 30 years. That doesn't happen, especially in modern wrestling. But Jericho, for the criticism he gets, has always figured out a way to sort of reinvent himself and stay relevant throughout his career. And
Yes.
there's an art to that. I mean, there's something to like even like when the Undertaker was the American Badass for a little while, just you know, taking that character, that iconic character, and sort of adapting it to a more modern presentation. And then when he goes back to the Dead Man, he you know it still crushes. But like Jericho has been that guy all the way through the Man of 1,004 holds in WCW to
I forgot
Y2J,
about
and
that.
all of those iterations. Yeah, I mean, so
Yeah.
you know, and he's you know he's taking some time off now, but he's not done. So
No, absolutely
he'll
not.
pop up somewhere, and you know, probably the biggest wrestling star, not named Bret Hart, to come out of Canada, I think. And I will reserve judgment because I'm sure somebody in the chat or in the comments will remind us of somebody who, you know,
Well,
was
talking of the chat, I see here Kenny, Kevin Steen, Jericho, Edge, Piper, Abdullah. So
see,
those
I
are
forgot
some.
Abby was Canadian. They're
You
like,
brought that up last week, and I was like,
I
"Shut
know.
up! I forgot."
I have
Yeah,
ADHD. It's
and
I
I
don't remember what I
forgot.
had for dinner.
Yeah.
That was
Now,
forever ago.
yeah,
But no, those are all
those are some really good ones. Now, my thing is, like I said, for me, I'm gonna look at it whole, right? Because I'm loving the Don
they give you
Callis because of
contributions.
the
We said
fact that
it's not just
he's
listen.
contributed all the way across, right?
You led with Don Callis, which is a great
Wi I did
non-wrestler, although
not
technically
miss
he was a wrestler. Well, I mean,
Scurvy.
listen,
Scurvy
Scurvy
killed it with that. So I have 2 in my head right
stealing our
now
heat.
that I really I'm like for me it's not, "Hey, Jeremiah." It's not a number 1, it's not a number 2. It's just that these 2 are in my head. So I'm just gonna spit one of them out, and then I'll save the other one for later. Sounds good? Okay.
When you're thinking of spitting it out,
Do not spit out your Blue Chew. Use the 10% code, good brother. Blue Chew Gold. Um, so I am going to go with Scott Demore.
Scotty D, I
Yes.
like that pick too.
Yes, he's gonna be one of my picks, and it's because of everything that I have seen him do from
Yeah,
his time as, active in TNA as a wrestler, to being, you know, the man in charge, to transitioning to Maple Leaf, and knowing the business relationships that he has built. So
yeah.
yeah, I
No,
had to do that.
it is that's a great pick. I mean, I one of my favorite wrestling moments of like recent, you know, history was actually I believe it was the taping right before he got let go from TNA.
Yeah, that was a good
It was
one.
It was in Vegas.
I was
So
there.
I was there. So I was also in attendance live in
Yes,
fabulous
that was
Las
an
Vegas.
awesome show.
Well, Bailey and a couple of the good
Yeah,
sisters came because it
Bailey and
was
Sasha walked right behind me while I was in line.
so but it was Naomi's last match there,
Mhm.
where she was passing the torch and all that stuff. So it was nice to see Trin and say hi and everything like that. But Scott D'Amore comes out and cuts this amazing promo
So
at the end of the show. Like goosebump promo, like, you know what I mean? Like I talked about this with Eddie Kingston. It was the kind of promo that you knew was real. It was real to him, like,
mhm.
not to steal any memes. It In that moment, that man believed everything he was saying in front of that crowd, and you could tell.
Yeah,
And
and
it
I
was
think
one
I
of the
still
best.
have that
It's
on my phone.
one of it, literally halfway through it. I'm like, holy shit, I gotta like, this should go viral. And then he gets fired. I'm like, fuck it. Maybe I don't know if he knew or, whatever it was, but that show itself was great. And it was a great taping for TNA. The place was packed, crowd was
It
hot,
was.
show was good. And, and Scott has always been a guy respected for like his wrestling mind,
Mhm.
and getting to see like what he's doing now up back in Canada with Maple Leaf Wrestling and kind of revitalizing that territory is great, because I like more wrestling. So
Yeah, I talked
plus
to
the Good Brothers
Giselle
go up there, I
Shaw
think.
that night, and I was telling her, I was like, I'm so glad you guys were able to come to the Palms. It's such a better location than
Yeah.
when they were at Sam's Town. And she was on her way to go
Sam's Town
meet
wasn't bad.
Demore, and she's like, yeah, we all love it here so much more. And
Oh,
so,
have to.
and I could, it just felt right there for them. Jeremiah bought out yes, Eric Young some EY, because
Fucking Shooter Scotty. Fucking the
EY
shooter Scott
definitely.
Demore.
Yeah, I remember, and I still, like I said, I fall asleep some nights to old TNA, and the little nervous wreck to this, like, I don't know what he is this month. Sometimes he's a cult leader, sometimes he's
Listen, if
just hardcore serious. I was like, oh yeah,
if you come across a picture
I
of
like some EY.
Conan hitting me across the nose, or a video of an old TNA match with Conan somersault clotheslining me and right here,
I'll
like,
let you know.
no, that's
Yeah, the
listen,
good one there,
my
Jeremiah.
nose isn't
EY is
always
a
like
good one.
this.
That's a good one too.
Um, so I'm gonna steal what I would assume is one of yours, with my second head on my Mount Rushmore, and it's for several reasons, which I'm sure I will be able to articulate. But my second head is Trish Stratus.
Ooh, she was
Yeah.
not my next pick, but that is a great one.
See, Trish is if you are if you're a member of the George Hackenschmidt Luthez, whatever, the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame out there in Iowa, and you buy one of the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame whatever t-shirts, my name is right next to Trish's name, which is why I love it, because it's Styles
Oh,
Stratus is right there. So I'm
there it
always
is.
somewhere just right on top of Trish Stratus.
There it is.
I
I
mean,
actually was gonna, if I have it, she's going to, oh, it's in my other section. Trish is actually having something out here during, yeah, it's called she's doing this thing called First Crush all around the
I saw
country.
that.
And she's gonna be here at the Mandalay Bay. It's not loading. I'm trying to see it.
That's okay.
Before and after WrestleMania. Here it is. It's not coming up. I was gonna bring up. So April 13th to April 20th, she will be doing Flanker Mania, and it's called
Flanker Mania, it's called. Yeah.
Everyone Remembers Their First Crush by Trish Stratus. So if you are out here, check it out. Now, see, that's a plug no one saw coming.
What, the Trish Stratus plug? I mean, that's a
Yeah,
that's a solid plug.
it
Like,
is. Yeah.
no, I mean, but Trish, you know, obviously one of the most influential female wrestlers in history, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, and I'm going to be a little bit biased here, because I've known Lita for a while. I don't think they get nearly enough credit for that, for them basically being like, no, yay, no bra and panties matches. Let us actually go out there and try to do some stuff.
Mhm.
And that, women's wrestling hadn't really been that, at least in America, um, for a while, if ever, but that was, they were the first women. I hate calling them girls because, whatever, but like the first
Lady
lady
wrestler.
wrestlers, the first lady wrestlers, first chicks that, no, I mean, but they were the first, uh, really, they gave credibility, to women's wrestling, which at that
Absolutely.
time was mostly girls in gravy boats and, bra and panties matches and stuff like that.
Yeah, and
And as a teenager during that period of time, I'm not that sad about it, uh, but watching them evolve past that, and
mhm.
that doesn't happen without, first of all, without
Without
Trish
without
pushing for
this
it.
fitness model showing up and changing the game out of nowhere.
Well, but and she's talked about this a lot. She had to claw like a lot
Mhm.
of that, like where even just to not have like a 2-minute segment because all the women were getting, and this leads into the Divas, they call it evolution now, but this was the Divas revolution was
Exactly.
people complaining about the fact that women were only having one match on Monday Night Raw, and it was like a 2-minute nothing, match where they they weren't being presented in anywhere resembling a sort of equal way. And
Right.
it doesn't hurt that at that time you have, Bailey and Sasha and Charlotte, and Becky all ready to come in and,
Right.
take over the world.
But just think about, like, there was that period where it was like they were coming out of the bra and panties era and that slow transition. So those mid transition girls, they were trying to do a little bit of both while you had the four horsewomen slowly coming up in the background, but they all looked up to Trish and they looked up to Lita. And when we do our women's history episodes, we will definitely be going into Trish and Lita because, and this is like Jeremiah saying, first crushes, or even, just inspiration for a lot of girls to get into wrestling, because at first it was like, okay, you either looked kind of rough around the edges or you were a valet. It wasn't that much of an in between for a long time, and then
I don't
Trish
know if
comes
that's
back.
fair. I don't
Well,
know if that's
no,
fair.
no, it was no, a lot of it
You
was
had
you were
Miss
a
Elizabeth
valet,
and you had
you were va
Scary
right,
Sherry is
you were
how
a
they
valet or a
marketed.
manager, or or girls shouldn't be wrestling. It those they were becoming out of style. And
Well,
Trish,
a lot of that was
yeah,
not their
politics.
fault. Yeah.
No, it wasn't. And Trish was one of those ones who was like, wow, she showed that you can do it. You can start off as a fitness model who has no idea what the heck's going on and turn that into managing, valeting, wrestling, mentoring,
But
all the stuff.
but she wanted
And
to
it
do
was
that too.
freaking
She
but
had
and
that
she
chip on her
wanted
shoulder.
she wanted to do it
Right.
versus like certain women, they ask them to come and it's like, yeah, this isn't my jam.
Listen, there's a reason it's the Mae Young Classic and not the Moolah Classic, as history looks back.
Mhm.
So, but, no, she was, but she did it because she had a chip on her shoulder as far as being an athlete. I was talking to, um, uh, one of my favorite people in the world, Malia Hasaka, like a female wrestler, who has been around forever and has a real she makes a very valid point where a lot of the athletes that are being kind of recruited or looked at now by the WWE and their kind of training system and how different that is now versus kind of the old school making towns indie pay your dues, kind of method of breaking into the business. A lot of these newer wrestlers, women especially, for according to Malio, is they're using wrestling as almost like a stepping stone to, like, they see what Mandy Rose is doing on her OnlyFans and how much money she's making, and goes, oh, wrestling was the springboard to that, and now she makes more money just being a hot girl on the internet, or whatever they want to do, if they,
Yeah.
but
And some people that's great for them, and other people it doesn't work that way. But yeah, Trish was a great choice.
Thank you.
Now,
I was proud of that one.
Here comes Ashley out the box.
All right.
Before she picks her female person, out the box, Chris Van Vliet.
By the way, when you're in the box,
whoa,
Lucia.
But Chris Van Vliet.
CBV gets us. Now you're just trying to get us on his show. But
if I could, that'd be awesome. No, I had met him.
Way to be a worker.
I have met him for like 5 seconds, and he liked my T-shirt. That's all I have to say. But no, like,
shout out your shirt, by the way, because I'm rocking the Andre Root Squad here.
Mine, I just feel like mine is very appropriate for the people in our circle.
For a Falcons Nest shirt, yeah, that's
my
definitely
circus,
for the boys.
Not my monkeys, but I definitely know the clowns. I love you guys. And all of you non-Tiz shiz, love you guys too. But Chris Van Vliet is my choice because of the contribution that he has made. And I actually just finished listening to an interview that he did with the No Contest guys, and how he was able to talk the different news stations to allowing him to do the interviews with the wrestlers.
Yeah.
Which, they used to have people who, couldn't say the person's name right, who didn't know what was going on, but being able to have someone who was there, who was familiar with the product. And right now he's inspiring so many other people to get into the content creation game, the content game, and talk about their love of wrestling. And he acknowledges that, yes, he did do some wrestling back in the day, but leave me be. but no, like I really enjoy what he does because he gets people to talk. Him and Stephanie McMahon, they have a way of getting people to talk. But yeah. And the fact that I like something that he said was he has a lot of wonderful quotes. One day I'm just going to sit back and I'm going to just like write down him and some other people's quotes. But he says things to make you think, if you are going to do that interview, try to be in the same space as that person. Make yourself available. If you can't, do the Zoom, whatever, but don't be afraid just to do it. So CVV
and I think
is on my list.
And he was OG. So like back then, the technology wasn't nearly as good as it is now. Like where like this is pretty, decent as far as like production, and not too decent. I don't want another Kirk Shepard, or I don't want you guys yelling at me like that guy that did a couple Talking Shop episodes, and it looked too good. He was too pretty. You got yelled at.
I will say, I like that he said he started with an iPhone and a light.
Listen, when people talk to me about like doing voice like stuff, I say it's not a massive investment. Like if you, especially now, you can get a decent microphone, as like for not that much money, and most of the software you either ride my coattails, or you make the Talking Shop guys put you on their channel or whatever like that. But like it's not a ton of overhead. No, but obviously we do it for it's very indie wrestling to me. You do it for the love. Yeah, it's a hot dog and a handshake kind of business. We're not making money yet. By the way, use that and donate if you guys want to. You can do that. There's PayPals and Venmos and Cash Apps and all that stuff there. The Grunt Gang, I think, has a T-shirt that might be coming out on my Pro Wrestling Tees. So look out for that. I saw it in the chat. And listen,
that would be awesome.
I know we're not using AI for all its worth, but still a pretty good shirt.
Did you see what I I made your shirt.
Yours I like too.
I made
And
yours. I'm trying to figure out how to put them together.
well, so that I didn't know. Like I
Yeah, I'm
saw the
gonna put
ones
them
you did,
together.
and I loved it.
I made you a little something. But yeah,
Listen,
okay.
guys,
We got to get
I'll
back
take
on
all the
task.
listen. I'll be in Vegas for all of WrestleMania week and all that stuff. So a couple things. First of all, I've got availability. If you guys, this is my shameless plug. If you guys want to hire me to do any of your TV stuff, production stuff, commentary, announcing, I'll have all of my gear with me. Literally, that's the old school guy in me. I'll be coming to Vegas with like a referee outfit, my wrestling gear, my robes, my suits, everything, my podcast equipment. Like, you got to always be prepared. That's the old school. You have your gear with you? Well, hell yeah. I'm here. I got my gear. Never check your gear. The kid I did commentary with last year for the On the Fly show lost his bag before the TV show. So I had to let him borrow some of my my suit stuff, and I rocked a like a Jerry the King Lawler kind of gimmick where I wore like my wrestling like gimmick and then put like a coat on. It was
nice. Now, as you all
I
know,
asked,
I do live here
the
in
booker. He's like,
Vegas.
fucking great. He's like, it's fucking awesome. He loved it.
I do live here in Vegas. I do have the dream of being a valet manager. I don't need to hit anybody. I just want to stand there and look pretty. If you want someone to ring and out, hear the voice, I can do it. I can try it. Why not? It's free. Yeah. Also, I am Ashley. So, if you want to meet Ashley, who's also Ashley,
go get her at the gimmick table, guys. She's taking Polaroids. Let's go. Let's go.
You guys are always wondering where Ashley is. I mean, I'm here, but I got it. I'm here.
Look how pretty I look. I cleaned up nice.
Okay, that's enough of you. Back to Canada.
If you want to book Ashley, you can book her through that QR code too. I'll make sure she gets it. I'll take my manager percentage and everything like that, and
hot dog and
handshake. Feed me. She might have to feed me at least once while I'm in Vegas doing all the wrestling gimmicks.
Slice of cake.
I might be hanging out with Joe Dombrowski. So,
you know what? A stack of 8x10s. You know what, DeWisco, you're a genius.
That's it. Stack 8x10s. You got to get a couple You got to get the buttons made. You need the cheap gimmicks to sell.
Where's Ashley? So, that's there's so many different. Yeah, we're gonna rock this. He doesn't care anymore. He's fine with it. But your next Canadian, we got to get back on the task. What is your next Canadian?
Dad's for real. Am I up again? Shoot, I had one and I almost interrupted you to say it because I knew I was going to forget it.
See, words are
hard. Natty.
Why'd you do that? You knew I was going to go to Natty next. Shoot, where's the shoe?
Don't give me two draft picks. Don't give me two draft picks. I'll get them.
I didn't. I said CBD. Get the shoe.
Snipe them.
Bad Spiffy. That's okay.
Man,
I'm gonna be.
I was there when Spiffy turned heel, man. It was crazy. He was being all nice and civil, and then he went and just stole that girl's dreams, man. Took it right away, man.
Nest, you know what to do.
I mean, listen. All right. I mean, listen. Natty's going to be on both of ours, so I think she's iconic enough that we could make the exception for her. She's probably the greatest female wrestler of all time. For 85 different reasons. I haven't watched the WWE lately, but I saw that they basically let her do her blood sport gimmick on TV or they were or whatever.
It makes me
I hope they are. Is it happening? Is that a thing?
Happening. They're building it slowly but surely. So yeah,
because
it's happening. I'm really happy about it.
Well, because again, first of all, that's the authentic Natty. By the way, that is Natty Neidhart. That is not Natalia. That's Natty. And that's something where and Natty was at the Cauliflower Alley last year in Vegas. I got a chance to talk to her.
She was. I cried about it.
She was great. I mean,
I cried about it.
It's okay. Listen, I forgot how big I was compared to people, but
That's okay. I
It's one
get
of
to
those
meet
things
her.
where
I get to meet her in 6 weeks. It's fine. It's fine.
what is she where at in 6 weeks?
At the Horseshoe, she will be doing her book signing. It's a late Christmas present that I'm getting.
Is that during WrestleMania week? Is that
It
6
is.
weeks away?
It
All
is. It
right.
is. I get to meet
Listen,
Natty.
I'll go on field trips. I mean, I like I said, I've got gaps in my schedule and I have no idea. There's so much going on during WrestleMania week that that's the perfect time. If you're a
To meet
wrestler,
Natty.
and it's the perfect time to meet Natty, but it's the perfect time to just be around uh just the business. You know what I mean? And there's opportunities everywhere. I highly encourage you guys to do that. You get a chance to see a lot of people doing a lot of different things that you do not get to see any other time. Like I got to try to figure out how to brother my way into Joey Janela's spring break show just to watch him put over
Him and
Brody Lee
Brody.
Jr. And
Man,
it's going to be
that was
awesome.
a good promo, man.
Kid's better than most wrestlers already. He's
I like
14.
that kid.
Yeah, he's going to be all right.
Yeah, I
He
mean,
come wrestle with me in West Virginia. They don't
he's
care.
getting trained under Natty. It's all good.
Yeah, he's going to be fine. But
So,
Natty's got to be the pick. I
yeah,
mean, that's
Natty has
and
to be the
not
pick.
to be super progressive during Women's History Month and putting two chicks on my mountain, but it's hard to argue Trish or Natty as far as
No,
Canadian
absolutely.
wrestling. For a lot of the same reasons as Trish, but Natty being somebody who lives the business, especially for her contributions to the newer wrestlers and kind of teaching them that
Mhm.
that attitude. You know what I mean? Like that.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like when I talk about like being the last of the old school or like doing like those kind of things, there's a reason that you need to have a couple of those guys in your locker room, and like we had those guys in the 90s that were like big stars in the 80s that were still, making towns like when they could barely walk, but they were still out there because they loved the business and a lot of them pissed away their money. But they're also invaluable as far as the information, the wisdom that they have,
Mhm.
and how to explain that to people that have not experienced that, and quite frankly, now will never have the opportunity to experience that because that's not there anymore. Like the territories aren't there anymore. So me getting to hear stories about territory wrestlers who went through the 80s and when New York bought everybody up and all that stuff, all the way through today's wrestling, where like now I'm the guy telling the old wrestler stories and stuff like that. Unless I'm going to like Cauliflower Alley, where I'm the young guy that can still bump a little bit because Abby's there and he's 85. So like, but those guys are those experiences and that knowledge, it cannot be replicated. And Natty is that bridge for
Exactly.
every like women's wrestler that ever is going to be in the WWE for the next probably the next 10 years.
And
She's
not
the
just
gatekeeper.
WWE.
She's the GOAT. Well, now,
She's
yeah, she's
she's
getting to
worked
work
with
with other people.
NWA, she's worked with GCW, she's worked with Reality of Wrestling, and now she's doing an hour every Thursday on Busted Open. So you're getting her knowledge in so many different ways, and um there's really nice. It's like what more can be said? It's Natty. Like it's kind of one of those where it's Natty and everybody else in certain ways because she's that old school, new school locker room leader.
Yes.
So, but I think for
Easy
my
pick.
next, it would be easy for me to go with the next one that I was thinking in my head, but I think I might just hold them because I cannot leave Robert Roode off of my mountain.
Bobby Roode.
I cannot leave Robert Bobby Roode off of my mountain.
Bobby Roode is I'll call it a bit of a sleeper pick. But I like it.
Yeah.
Why Bobby Roode?
Well, okay. Let's see. Again, it's funny how this is TNA based, right?
Yeah.
That was when the first time that I saw him wrestle was through Team Canada and all the way up to, yes, the glorious period. And now as a producer, he's still contributing to wrestling, whether if it was beer money, no, it doesn't matter what it was. He always stayed in gimmick. When I met him, I was freaking out and he stayed in gimmick. That made me so happy. But even during that transition of TNA when they were doing the Global Force, he was still there. He was a
Oh
steady
gosh.
yeah, I know.
Ugh.
He was a steady mainstay. Thank you, Orleans Casino, for the free tickets. But he was a mainstay and he's just, yeah, just he's a great wrestler. He's somebody like if he comes on my TV, I actually stop and pay attention like for real, for real. So yeah, I would have to put Robert Bobby Roode on there.
That's for real. Yeah, I mean, listen, can't make an argument against him. He's his TNA stuff was great. Had one of the
NXT
best
stuff was great.
entrances ever in the WWE and NXT, well, NXT more than the main roster, but his NXT entrance was like that was an era where you had like Finn Balor's entrance was
Yeah.
incredible.
Oh,
Nakamura's entrance was
yes.
incredible. Then you had Bobby Roode like right on the tail. You're like these guys are having these like incredible like entrances. And Bobby, you know, I wish he would have got a chance to do more on the main roster,
Agree.
but you know, one of the best minds in wrestling. So one of
Yeah.
the smartest guys. Um, the way he puts together matches, the way he obviously looks great,
Mhm.
great worker.
Yeah,
Hard
and I've
to
heard that he's just from like interviews that he has one of the greatest minds in the back.
well, he's a guy, and LG's probably a guy that can do this too. He is definitely a guy that can do this, but like the dying art of being able to like call it in the ring or
Mhm.
to be able to like call it on the fly. Bobby's one of those guys that would do that. Like Randy Orton is a guy that can do that. Edge is a guy that can do that. Where you know, like they talk about this now in interviews where it's like we had the opening of the match and we knew the finish, and then we had 40 minutes to just go.
Just
You know what I
go.
mean? And guys used to do that a lot more. Now, obviously, with television and production, it's a little more produced
Mhm.
and a little more like you have to hit certain like times and angles and look here and do that, you know, like which is fine. I mean, wrestling is more of a television show than it is a live show now. And that's
Mhm.
again the
Which is
evolution
true.
of the business. And it's not a bad thing. It is if you miss going to the armory or going to the sportatorium or going to see live wrestling and not having to
Mhm.
pay $1,000 a ticket.
But
Thanks,
again,
thanks, Fed.
Bobby Roode is one of those people who bridged that gap as well because he could do that. He could do the call it in the ring. He could do the television. He was able to do all that within that generation of wrestler
Well,
versus the ones who now who aren't getting that,
yeah.
non-televised time as much.
Well,
That's a struggle for them to, versus
so
makes
Duisco
sense.
brought this up in the chat. Like that's he's from that era, and
Mhm.
like I was wrestling there, like in the South, especially uh old school TNA, like all that stuff. When you were wrestling in some of these places where it was still kayfabe and still like I had we did a bunch of I wrestled Chase Stevens, who was a big TNA guy for a while. Great guy, still in great shape, still a great wrestler 20 years later, and still out there. But they were pushing Chase for whatever he was doing, and I was so we're working. Same thing. Ref comes over, tells you the time, tells you the finish. Have at it,
And
you
just
know.
go.
Yeah, and that's what it was. Heels in one locker room, baby faces in the other locker room, and that's a Bobby Roode kind of thing. Like you said, he's a guy that would be able to work that style of match, and there's a certain art to that, and it's a reason why a guy like John Cena or AJ Styles or those kind of Natty is a great, you know, like
Mhm.
those wrestlers that broke into the business when there was still a lot of that, especially on house shows, especially on the loops where you could work, you're basically working things out with that uh, person for when you guys get on TV and do that match, or you're getting ready for the pay per view, or you're getting ready for like Monday Night Raw. So it's important to kind of practice some of those spots and that stuff, and that's where I feel bad that the wrestlers now don't get that same
Yeah.
live event experience. Obviously, I'm happy that they're not, you know, on the road 300 days a year
Right.
anymore, and
However,
living on painkillers and Miller Lights and whatever. Like, but like, I mean, we know a lot more about like preserving the body. However, when it comes to that art of the uh, putting together a match, that's an art that Bobby Roode was one of those guys that I think people are losing that. And I'm not sure, and this is the crotchety old school guy in me. I'm not
either
sure that's necessarily the best thing for wrestling, just because, like, especially now in the WWE, it sometimes gets a little formulaic, where it seems like a lot of the things that are happening are very almost cookie cutter. There's
yeah.
no, you know what I mean? Like, there's no like
That and
unique
you're
presentation
seeing
of
injuries that may or may not have happened if you had a little bit
that
more
too.
road time to work on it and not just taking the chance on live TV. You know what I mean? So, yeah,
I
I
like it
get
though.
it.
Bobby Roode's a great pick.
Thank you.
Um,
I see here in the comments, what about Ivan Koloff, which again,
it's another
seriously
guy
Canadian?
I would forget is Canadian, but hard to
That is
argue against his
so.
contributions to the business too.
And now
I
who do you have?
I don't know. Like there were so many good picks there that I kind of blacked out halfway through that. But Bobby Roode's a good pick. Like I've done at least mostly kind of like my picks have all seemed to be like longevity wrestlers or like
Mhm.
transformative wrestlers. Let me think of someone not that Shooter Scotty was in there. Which is a good pick too. Don
Thank you.
Callis is a great pick. I mean,
He
these
was.
are
Scurvy, good one.
it's hard from the wrestling standpoint just because like
So see, I have my next one. I've been holding it
go,
back.
go
But no,
ahead.
I want you to go because
Why? 'Cause if I
no,
pick the same
I
one as
want
you, you're
no,
gonna quit the show
it's
and I
not gonna
can't
be the
find
same.
anybody else that'll put up with me.
All right, fine. TJ Wilson, aka Tyson Kidd.
See? I like it. They go in together. Do that count as
They
one
would
head
have
or two
the
heads? Can it
Wilsons
be
have to go in together, number 1. But
one head though? It only counts as one head. They
no, they are
combine.
not because they are not a tag team.
What is a marriage if not a union of two souls becoming one
Because
soul?
no.
Why don't
No,
you
no.
believe in love? Why don't you believe in love, Ashley?
Don't even get me started. That's another conversation for another day. But but TJ, or as let's go, TJ, wrestling, producing. I mean, the women's matches that you see today, and again, bringing it back to Women's History Month, the
Yeah,
women's matches that you're seeing today are a lot of behind the scenes work of TJ Wilson. The
that's
training
true.
that he and Natty
TJ,
do,
Fit, Road
yes.
Dog, although the Road Dog's gone. I'm sure the girls are broken
Road
up about that.
Dogg, the work that him and Natty do in their dungeon, um
Yeah.
preserving the memory, preserving the Hart family dynasty, even though he's not a Hart. You know what I mean? He's close enough to a Hart
It's like,
as anybody. You know what I'm
I mean,
saying?
come
But
on. I mean, how big is
he's
the bloodline? Come on, we're all related
doggone it. Now
somehow.
that's a huge
That's just my
family.
cousin. That's just my cousin.
It is that hey, that's what we do.
The
But
reunion's real big.
yeah, like he's just TJ could have just said, you know what, I'm done. I broke my
Yeah,
neck. I'm going home. But all 1,200 cats, you do what you got to do.
you don't want to be there.
He picked himself up and became a whole different type of contributor to wrestling. So we thank you, TJ Wilson.
I'll piggyback on that. And TJ did a lot of stuff. Like TJ was the wrestler that wrestlers wrestled when they needed to get like their form back. Like TJ worked with like when like The Rock would come back for like a one time a year match, you set him up with TJ. Those kind of guys like are that trusted and that solid that you put them with the biggest stars you have. And TJ's always been that guy. I wish he was wrestling now just because it's gotten so much smaller is not the right word for it, but wrestlers are not Like
Mid-size.
you can be a world champion and be 5'9",
Yes.
MJF, and you can and be credible as a world champion at 5'9" and 200 pounds or whatever like that. So it's that evolution would have hopefully made him a bigger star.
Mhm.
Um, as far as just the overall contribution
And
to
I
wrestling being
loved
good.
him and Claudio together. Oh,
Great. Like,
oh,
you know, just,
so
I mean,
good.
two incredible wrestlers doing
So
incredible
good.
wrestling things.
So good.
So I'll take the other half of of Jericho's first tag team. I'll take Lance Storm if I can be serious for a minute.
Woo!
And for the very same reasons that you took TJ, the Storm Wrestling
Bravo.
Academy has produced some of the next generation of Canadian wrestlers and American wrestlers that go up there to work with Lance because his reputation is so stellar as a technician in the ring. Literally, probably one of the most gifted technical wrestlers in the history of the business. Would probably
Mhm.
be on that Mount Rushmore with the Zack Sabres and the Bryan Danielsons of the world.
Mhm.
But I like that they were able to find a way to get him over with just his wrestling and have it be part of that promo or like his quote unquote lack of charisma or his lack
Yes,
of
so
character
serious.
being the character. And
Yeah.
that's it's smart booking, number one. And number two, it gives a guy like Lance Storm the opportunity to wrestle with some of the best guys on the roster because they know that he's going to have in the ring he's going to be incredible. And
Greatness.
then you gotta have people there that
Dadgummit.
the fans
Great.
care about. What?
That was a
What I
good
missed?
one.
Thank
Dadgummit.
you. I know. Well, you picked. I mean, we're
I
doing
mean,
pretty good with
it
this
was
one.
and what's crazy is it's like we've literally forgotten how many people have been put on this mountain because we're having such good conversation.
Always.
And, for me, like another one that like I remember being shocked about this because I knew he wasn't from Italy, but I figured he was at least from the United States. But then I found out he was Canadian. Santino Marella.
Santino. I mean, listen, they just signed Danhausen. You want to talk about comedy wrestling and
Yes.
like and people were like taking a shiz on Danhausen being in the WWE, and then I'm like, but R-Truth,
Hello.
Santino, like you're telling me there's not a place on the roster for like that almost like not a serious
Yes.
kind of thing. Like you can have that. It's the great thing about wrestling is you don't have to like
Son of a
comedy
gun.
wrestling. You don't have to like women's wrestling. You don't have to like hardcore wrestling. Just have a little bit in there for somebody who does. It's a melting pot, and that's why Danhausen is, if nothing else, a unique character. Santino was a unique character, and I love that they made him, a clown basically, with respect to Doink, with him being a legitimate badass, with him having an actual
Yes.
combat like background. They made him
Exactly.
into a guy with a cobra, and he still got it over. I mean, it's like when Kurt Angle was doing comedy wrestling. That's still an Olympic gold medalist. He just happens to be very, very entertaining doing the thing that he's doing on TV. You're
Yes.
allowed to do that, wrestling fans. It's fine. Stop with your angry tweets. Leave him alone. No, it's a great pick. I like that a lot, and I wouldn't have thought about it because, like you said, like it's like guys like Ivan Koloff was one that was brought up in the chat. Abby was brought up in the chat. I don't. Not that obviously they're not great, but I don't think of them as Canadian wrestlers. So I almost want to keep it to where like those are wrestlers that they represent Canada, if that makes sense. Like where
Mhm.
nobody's going like, oh, Abdullah the Butcher, what a great Canadian wrestler he was. It was never part of like what that character was or that presentation was. I will go with the Canadian crippler, Chris
Oh,
Benoit,
oh,
for my mountain. Might be a controversial
it,
pick,
it, it-
guys.
it's
I know
it's controversial,
it's controversial, but it's
it's a good
legit.
pick. It's a legit
Yeah.
pick.
Tell me I'm wrong. Tell,
You,
tell me I'm telling lies,
it's
Slobby.
hard. It's hard to say you are. It's like it's one of those where it's like, okay, take that away
Yeah.
and just
I mean,
focus on
obviously,
the yeah,
you know,
which is still hard.
there's an
But
asterisk for
I
how that
get it.
ended.
Yeah,
but
it's a nice big asterisk. It's parentheses all yeah.
but he was um for a long time the Canadian wrestler.
Yes, he was.
He was it. Like
Yeah.
his matches, and mostly his WCW stuff.
Yes.
His best of 7 with Booker T for the television championship might be one of my favorite like series of matches
Now I gotta
between
go
any two
find it
people
because I
ever
haven't seen that in forever.
because of how good the storytelling was over the 7 match arc. And that's hard to do. Like it's hard to tell that kind of story where those guys were so good in the ring and had such good chemistry. They're like, let's run it back every week for like 2 months. And they did. And it never lost steam. And match 7 was better than match 1. Chris Benoit was the standard bearer of Canadian wrestling after the Hart family sort of started tailing off a little bit there. He kept the torch going. He really did.
Indeed,
And
indeed.
hard to argue against his in-ring accomplishments. Again, I know it's a controversial pick,
It is, but
but
I
we're talking,
understand it.
yeah, I mean, listen, we put up statues of people that, used to be slave owners and stuff like that, or had, Confederate generals and stuff like that. I understand
Yeah,
you can separate, the man and the accomplishments from the,
to a
maybe,
point. Yeah.
yeah,
It's just but yeah, like, it's hard to say great Canadian wrestlers and not say his name
as much
because
as there is a concentrated effort to sort of forget about Chris Benoit or to scrub him literally from
yes,
the
everything.
records and things like that. You can't do that. You can't any more than you could, like, say Barry Bonds wasn't a great home run hitter just because of the steroids and stuff like that. You could put an asterisk
Supposed.
if you want, but like, he's still it's I would love to hear somebody argue against Chris Benoit being on the Canadian Mount Rushmore of wrestling and do it in a way where it wasn't just that final, you
Yeah.
know, situation, and have that not be the only reason why you would disagree with my pick. And if you have other reasons, lay it on me. But I don't think you do. You'd be really hard pressed to not put him on there.
Yes. Um,
That's my controversial pick. That's
that
for
was a
the
good that was a good
that's for the
controversial.
clips. That's for the
That's a
that's gonna
good
get the
one.
people in.
You know, because we could go on and on, but we definitely got to wind down here. But
Give me one more.
there's I'm sitting here and I'm like, gosh, there's so many good ones. You've got Edge, you've got Christian, you've got PCO, the whole Rougeau. Um,
I can't
there's
believe we did.
and I'm just
Literally, I
that's
can't
why I'm
believe
sitting here like there's
we're an hour into this thing. We
I'm
didn't even really bring
calculating.
Edge or Christian or Kevin Steen was brought up in
And
the
well,
in the
you know, when
comments.
it's like, yeah, and the comments were just fantastic. So it's like,
No, I love it. I love how interactive it is. I love when you guys give us ideas because, like I
yes,
said, I have no idea who I'm picking. I really
you
don't.
wake
That's a
up in the
complete
middle of the
shoot.
night in the heat sweat.
Yeah, I'll wake up at 3 a.m. and think of somebody like we completely forgot about.
And I'm
Yeah,
sure that
and he
like,
was.
I mean, for all intents and purposes, you got to have Edge and Christian. You have to.
Yeah.
I mean, it
No,
just
it's
it only
again still
look what they
relevant.
did.
30 years,
I mean, it's
30-year
like
career,
you don't
still
even
relevant.
have to like go into an explanation. It's Edge and Christian.
No, I mean it's revolutionized tag team wrestling. The TLC match is again one of the most iconic matches ever, and that's directly from them in their time with the Dudleys and the Hardys. Their continued work. I know they're both hurt right
Yes.
now, but they're pushing again. They're 50 years old,
50,
and
they're in their 50s and
Edge
they're
is
still doing
Edge
what they
came back
do.
shredded with his. Listen, he's
Eh,
inspirational to
yes.
me, who had the same triple fusion neck surgery, that you can still do some stuff. He came back bigger and better than ever. At 50,
Yeah.
flirty and 50.
And Edge's transitioned it with his TV and movies. I
Yeah,
loved Haven. I wish Haven was
you
still
really.
on. I loved Haven. Vikings, Christian, this. He's so good at manipulating this
Yeah,
so well.
that's I
It
love that. I love the
yeah,
psychology part of wrestling. It's one of my
he's
favorite things.
just
It's why I
it's
love Paul
so
Heyman. It's why I love Bobby the Brain
yes,
Heenan. I love
he's
those kind of
so
cerebral.
yes, just
Yes.
it's just so good, and it's not that he just does it to whoever he's working with, but he gets the crowd, and yeah. So
Yeah.
you can't not put Edge and Christian on your
No,
mountain.
cannot. No,
You
I can't argue with that either.
they have
And
to be there. So, one
it's
more
a
for
solid
you.
mountain.
It's a solid
All right.
freaking mountain.
Listen, if you guys think we forgot anybody, the comment sections are open. You can email us at, I think it's spiffyshawn@gmail.com if you want to use that one. Or just slide up in our DMs. Let us know if you have a topic idea for a future Mount Rushmore of Wrestling show. We are happy to have your input. This is an interactive show. If you guys want to jump on here and give yours, we're happy to have
Yeah,
you on as a guest.
come
We
hang
like to
out.
we try to be as community based as possible. As a shout out to the Good Brothers and our friends in the Falcon's Nest, we want to make sure that we are as inclusive as possible. So, with that said, give us more ideas. Thank you for watching. Please share us. Please, we're on all of your podcast, your Apple iTunes and your Amazon Musics and your Spotify's. Please leave us a 5-star review. Get us bumped up in that algorithm there, and subscribe. All that stuff. We usually do one of these a week or so, when we get to it. But it'll be posted tomorrow. If you missed it, it'll give you time to email and catch up with us if you have an early bedtime, which I understand.
Yeah. Honestly, you guys sleep on it. If you go to past episodes and there's something that tickles your fancy, you want to comment, tell us, because we've had some really great conversations with you guys and in the comments and on our side chats. So I even started having small conversations with people at work on this, and yeah, it's amazing how this small little nugget of the universe
I'm not a
brings people
Nugget.
together
Owen Hart.
wrestling.
Owen still gets on there.
Oh yeah. Again,
I know we
I
need
said not
kayfabe Brett.
Brett, but I also meant not Owen too, because
I know.
honestly, how could you
It,
not? It's just it's
well, you said
but
Nugget, and I immediately, get triggered.
but yes, definitely, you guys, please, our links are a little bit of everywhere. Reach out, add us to your list.
That's it.
Give us some comments, show us some love in some way, shape, or form.
Please.
We love to hear it. And also, quick shout out to the boys for putting Spiffy and the unicorn together,
Boys.
who have come to find out have been in the same building with each other, probably walked by each other multiple
Ships
times.
passing in the night.
Ships passing in the night. And for those of you out there, Blue Chew Gold is available. And you can get 10% off of your first purchase by using the promo code GUTBROTHER. Okay?
All right. Good enough for me. All right. I'm Sean. That's Ashley. Thank you guys. We'll see you next week. Spiffy and the Unicorn here. Follow the boys. Subscribe to Talking Shop. They've had AJ Styles on last week. They had Nick Nemeth on this week. The Hoots are lining up the big stars now and breaking news in the wrestling business. So go subscribe to them. Get on the Patreon. Get there in the Falcon's Nest, man. The guys are a lot of fun, man. You got to go see them.
Good night,
You are
babies.
late. Catch
But
up.
thank you for coming.
That's
Good
what
night,
she
babies.
said. Blue
Mwah.
Bye.